Speaking of potential, or in this case, former Mexican national team managers, what about our good friend Miguel Piojo Herrera, who is now suddenly out of work? That's right, no longer in charge at Xolos. The club announcing that the two sides were parting ways on Wednesday. Herrera had been at Xolos since February of last year, where Tijuana failed to qualify for the playoffs in any of the last 3 seasons under Piojo. The former El Tri manager saw his team finish 16th out of 18th in the last Liga MX season. Guys, what do we think's next for Miguel Herrera? It kind of feels like he's coming to the end of his rope, at least in Mexico, huh?
This right here.
ESPN?
Yes, well, I mean, I don't know, but at
Does he
least
speak
the
English?
microphone.
We'd love to have him on Football Americas, huh?
He's trying to learn English. I think it would be smart for Miguel Herrera to take a year off from coaching, from being a manager, reevaluate how he has performed in the last 2 years with Tigres and then Xolos. This was a bad situation. I mean, the team was already bad when Miguel Herrera took over. It was the worst team in Mexican soccer. Now it's not the worst, but like second or third worst team in Liga MX. I mean, yeah. But I mean, I think he should clear his head. He's a great personality. He has been a commentator. He has been a pundit before with us at ESPN. So if I'm Miguel Herrera, I'm taking some time off coaching, going back to the booth if he wants, going back to a debate desk if he wants. He's great at doing that. He's great on TV. But for now on, don't be a manager for a few years, for a year at least.
Go ahead, Seb, because I know how your twisted mind works. Ask me the question you want to ask me. I already know where you're going with this.
I didn't really have a question in mind. I think this is a great shame. You know, I think this is a guy who, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, and we talk about this a lot, right? There's no Mexican managers abroad. Who the best bet for a Mexican manager to go abroad and have some success would be, I might have picked this guy. And I think I'd have had good reason. You know, people forget it now, but when he brought the title to America, they hadn't won in almost a decade. You know, he helped America get back to what they were and then brought another title back. And people forget about that 2014 World Cup team, which you could make the case was one of the best Mexico teams of this last, 30, 40 years in terms of World Cup performance, and coming off the worst World Cup qualifying cycle. So this was a guy who at one point seemed to be one of the bright young minds in Mexican soccer, and here he is now, not being able to find success. But I think, Herc, and maybe this is where you think I'm going, a lot of this is down to his attitude and his behavior. And I know there are links out there that are suggesting he might end up next in Major League Soccer with San Diego. And I know San Diego wants to make headlines, but I don't know if Piojo's the guy to make the right headlines for San Diego based on his behavior at the past, both with Club America and with the Mexican national team.
He's a HR nightmare, a walking liability. He assaulted a member of the press. Let me go just really quick and you can say whatever you want. Assaulted a member of the press. Another physical altercation with LAFC's assistant coach Ante Razov in the CONCACAF Champions League at that point. This is a guy that's made headlines for all the wrong reasons. When he was the coach of the Mexican national team, he had that political campaign, Ponte la Verde. Think about everything that he's ever done as of late. It's been off the field. And that Tigres team, which he called old, that same team, which he alienated their superstars, after he leaves, they go off and win a championship 3-4 months removed. Now, the most valuable thing he has going for him, mouth hit. It's his mouth. It's the microphone, because as a coach, the best years are behind him.
Yeah, I don't think it's an HR nightmare. I think it's the opposite.
In the
I think he's
in Major League Soccer?
I think he's an HR dream. He does everything.
No, that's a PR dream.
Well, yeah, he's right. You're right.
Yeah.
He's a PR dream. Yes. HR might be different. Yes. Now, yes, he's had his mistakes. I think, you know who I think would be an HR nightmare as well? Tuca Ferretti. Nobody says that.
Of course, but nobody's I'm not advocating for Tuca to go to
HR nightmare.
I'm not advocating for Major League Soccer.
I think you were a bit too harsh. Yes, he's made some mistakes. Absolutely. And whenever we thought he would learn from those mistakes, right, he would go out and something bad would happen again with Miguel Herrera. Now, I don't think Major League Soccer is the right fit for him.
No.
I just don't see it.
No.
If he only wants to coach because of the money, because he likes living in that area, he likes living in San Diego, and the idea is to bring Chucky Lozano, I don't know if Guillermo Ochoa will be an option or not, it makes sense. But if he still wants to be a relevant manager, Major League Soccer is not for him.
There we go. Miguel Piojo Herrera out at Xolos after a very disappointing season in Liga
Hashtag Miguel Herrera
MX.
for England.